Hi guys, welcome to Mini Shop's How to Sculpt videos with myself, Elizabeth. Today we're going to be making a little safari truck magnet. All right, before we start, there's a few things you'll need. You'll need some clay, of course, or some polymer, or some Play-Doh. Anything works. You'll need some black clay, some white clay, whatever color you'd like to make your safari truck. I'm using this leftover blue that I have. Some red clay, but you'll just need a little bit for the lights, and some orange clay. Also, you'll just need a little bit for some lights, and some gray clay, but you can make some with white and black. You also need either a potter's needle or a toothpick works great. You'll need a little x-acto knife, but a butter knife can work too, just don't use it for food after you've used it for clay. And you'll need a silicone dowel tool, or a pen works as well. If you're making this into a magnet, you'll need some magnets and some super glue. This is the best one I like. And so that you don't damage whatever space you're working on, you might need a little mat, or I'm using some parchment paper. You can do some just normal paper too, that works. All right, let's hop into this. Take about as much clay as the size of your thumb. I'm taking this blue clay and we're gonna warm it up. We warm it up so that it's easier to work with and it doesn't get cracks in it in the oven. All right. We're going to roll it into a ball now. And then, as we're rolling it into a ball, we're smoothing out all these cracks, see? Like that. Okay, once we have it in a ball, we're going to smush it. Well, flatten it. Flatten it, and as you flatten it, press down the edges to make it a rectangle, like so. Making sure it's even all around, like that. Then once you get to about here, take your finger and press into the side, and then push, and then press again, and then push it, press it there, and we're making the hood of the car, like this. You can form a little angle between your fingers and make it straight. All right, we can make sure the back is the same way, so it's not super rounded. And we can set it on our surface and kind of tap it all around. Sorry, I have some clay in my fingers. Tap it all around in order to make it lay flat. So it's not got like different levels of clay. That way it can bake more evenly in the oven. All right. Now we're going to take our knife and about halfway down the hood, on the bottom, we're going to make a little notch. That. And then about the same space from the front windshield to the hood, see that space? We're going to go that far back from the windshield and make another little notch. Then we're going to take about, you can do this with a toothpick if you want, just hold it up to that little notch to measure it out. We're going to do 1, 2, back. So this is about 2 of these. You can also measure like this. Hold it there, measure right there, hold it there, and then hold that right up against your front line to get to the edge of the back line. Like that, and hold it there, notch it. All right, you can also just eyeball it if you'd like. Okay, notch the back part now. Now what we're going to do, now that we have our notches, if we like the way they look, we're going to just push our knife down on all 4 of them. And then take your knife kind of straight up and work in a curve. I'll show you here. Like so. Sorry, the neighbor dogs are going crazy. Like that. And then on the side again. like so. And once you've got that, you can take the knife and just kind of pull it around, pulling it through, like that. Set that clay to the side, cut this part off, and then do it again. Pulling it through and around, kind of scooping it out, like that. Don't worry if you don't get it perfect the first time. It's a process. Also, you can smooth this out with your finger, or it's a really good time to use our silicone dowel tool and smooth with that, like so. Okay. Now that we have the base, we can, well, what I like to do first is to mark out where the doors are going to be. Take your knife or your toothpick or something and start just a tiny bit, maybe a centimeter or two down from the top, and then just about the same distance out from this wheel, and pull just a straight line down. This may be easier with a bigger knife because you can just set it right there and it'll make the knife rather easy to go there. All right, now about 2/3 of the way on this wheel, we're going to make another line, starting about the same spot, but pulling down to just above the wheel, like that. Then we're going to trace the outline of this wheel, like so, and then pull a line across to the other wheel. Trace the outline again of this wheel, but we're going to stop about halfway up, like that. Then we're going to pull another line up, but not all the way up here, giving it about a centimeter from the top there, like that. And then we're going to start here on this side and pull a line through again. Now you'll see that it kind of smeared this line, so what you're going to do is just do a little bit of touch up like so. All right, now that you have that, I like to take another line just up where these are and go like so. Like that. Okay. Now we can also pull this all the way through. Here like that. And then add another line right here. Down below. I just smushed this one. That's okay if you do that. You just can redraw it. And now back here as well. Like that. And then about another centimeter, I think. Like so. Now we can slightly trace the outlines of our windows. Go just a little bit above, a little bit inside, and then from this to here we're going to draw a slanted line like that. It doesn't have to be perfect because we'll be covering this one with clay. Okay, now this one, just draw a little box inside, like so. Try to make it in line with this top line and this bottom line, but if you don't, that's fine. And then these are just guidelines now, these window lines. All right, the top and the bottom, and then the sides, just a tad on the inside. Now you can see it's coming together. Okay, now what you may want to do also is put little door handles in here just to mark where you want the door handles. And we're going to switch to working with the black clay. Take about a third as much, sorry I dropped that, a third as much clay as you did for the blue clay. And then about half that. We'll warm it up first, of course. And then you're going to split it into two. Roll those into balls between your fingers. And you might see that one gets bigger than the other. If that happens, you can just take some clay off one, set it with your other clay, and then continue to roll. Now once you have the balls, you'll flatten them between your fingers like this. And then you'll test them. See, mine are too big. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay off by just pinching it, re-rolling it, and flattening it again. I'm going to set it in there just to see, and that looks pretty good. All right. You can also, if they're a little too big, you can make them less flat and make them bigger looking, like this one, which I think is what I'll do on the other one. I'll take that clay back, roll it together, and then flatten it, but not too much. All right. Now that we have our wheels, we are going to take our dowel tool and poke into the center of them, like this. Just an indent on both of the wheels. And then we're going to take our potter's needle or toothpick and make the treads of the wheels. You can start by making an X on the wheel and then adding more to the wheel, like so. Making an X and then adding more. All right. Once you have that, you can take a little bit of gray clay, about a fourth as much as you took for one of the wheels, and split it into two. Then roll each of those gray pieces into balls and set them on your wheels to see if that looks good. I think I have a little bit much clay, so I'll take a little bit off, set it back with my gray clay, rolling it again, and then dropping it. Don't drop it. Okay, then setting that little ball into our indent, like so. Again, setting the ball. Man, I'm good at that right now. And if you use super strong magnets, they really stick together, so you have to be careful. I'll just leave that there, and I will fix that later. Okay, here we go. Now, we'll leave that there for the moment. And we're going to take about half as much as we did for one of the wheels. Excuse me. Sorry. And then we are going to roll it into a ball. And then flatten the ball, but first make it into a cylinder. Like so. It goes like that. You'll attach it just below this line, or just at this line, and just above the wheelbase. Now to keep it on there, we're going to take our potter's needle or toothpick and slightly, by holding this side and slightly pressing the back into here, so it holds together. But while you do that, sorry, make sure that you don't mess up these lines. If you did, I'm sorry. But but we can redraw them. It's all good. I like to make them a little crisper at the end too. Okay, now pick it up again, and we are going to make indents on the wheels, same as we did to the other wheels. You can also, I didn't do this on the other ones, but you can also make an indent here and add a little bit of gray clay to the center, same as we did in here, like so. All right, now what we're going to do is take a little bit more black clay. Take about 1/4 as much as you took for that last wheel, roll it into a ball, and then roll that into a small cylinder. Push it up against your finger like so on both sides, so that it's got even edges. And then we are going to put that right here as a little doorstep. If you make it too small, it's okay. You can roll it a little longer or grab some more clay. All right, I like how that is. So I will leave it. And then we're going to do the front bumper. Take about twice as much clay as you just took. Roll it out again. Indent that side so that it's even. And then set it here. And pull it around the side as if it's going all the way around. But we're going to take our knife and just cut it off right there. Kind of smoothing it in so it stays as well. All right, now, as you see, we'll do the back bumper. Just a tiny bit of clay back here. Just a little bit, like that much. Rolling it again and adding it back here, like so. And then we'll take about as much as we took for the step, roll it again, make the side flat, and add it to the front. Usually for the deer guard, but we'll say for the zebra guard. Like so. And now we are going to hop to adding a tiny, tiny bit of red. So what you'll do is either take your knife or your potter's needle and scoop a little bit of clay. A little bit more. Off of there. Ever so slightly take it off. Roll it into a ball. Flatten that ball. And then we'll make it into a tiny little square. You can do that between your fingers. Like this. And then, once you have that, we are going to set it back here. Right there. Okay. Now, we'll just leave that there a moment. I'm going to take a tiny bit of orange clay. A little bit less than we took for the red clay. Roll it into a ball. Roll it into a cylinder. And then we are going to set it right here on the front. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And we're also going to take a little bit of white clay. Just a little bit. Roll that into a ball, but a little bit more of a slender ball, and we'll set it down below the orange. Like this. And then if it's not going, we can take our toothpick or our potter's needle, add it to the side, like so. Okay, Now we're going to take some black clay and roll it out until it's a little about twice as thick as the doorstep that we made. We are going to set that on top of our safari vehicle, like this. Cutting it off on the side as we did before, and then smoothing it off on this side, like that. And you can slightly press down, making sure you kind of hold it so it doesn't smush unevenly. Like that. And then we're going to take a little bit more and roll it into a super, super tiny amount of black clay. You can set it on, I didn't explain that, I'm sorry. You can set it on your work surface and then just pull with one finger, pull one way as you push. So pull and push like that until you get a really fine bit of clay. This is also how I make hair for my people. And then you're going to take that under your finger or your toothpick and wrap it around your light. So now this is where the toothpick is helpful. I'll show you. Like this. To pull it around. There you go. And then when you're done, you can take your knife and just pull up like that. If you got some blue clay on this, you can set it aside, but if not, you can put it back with your black clay. All right, now we're going to do this lower light. We'll take some more clay. I also roll it between my fingers sometimes. And we'll set it on there. Loop it around. Oh, and drop it again. All right. We'll set it on there, loop it around, and then we're going to cut it off here. Like so. All right, as you can see, I have some little straggly ends. So I'm going to softly put them into place. All right, now we're coming along right there. Before I forget, let's add our tiny, tiny, tiny door handles. Take about half as much clay as we took for our light, roll it into a cylinder, and set it where you marked your door handle. Now here you can take your toothpick and flatten the end like that. You can do it for the other handle as well. Like so. Sometimes clay gets on there, so we just can take that off a little bit. And the neighbor's peacock, if you heard that. There we go. Okay, now we're going to make the windows. Take some white clay, probably about as much as we took for the wheels, and warm it up. We're going to flatten it onto our work surface, but make sure you can still peel it up. And then take some sort of cylinder piece. My x-acto knife has this, or you can use kind of the side of a pen or like so, something like that. We're just gonna roll it out a little bit. You can also use your fingers to flatten it, but this just makes it a little more even. You can pick it up every once in a while to make sure that it's still, you can also pull it like this by wobbling it back and forth, but it breaks off more easily. Okay, now what we're going to do is cut a little piece for the window. So it's about, you can look at your piece, your flat piece, and kind of line it up on your window like so. And just give it a slight mark right there. And then another slight mark. And then you can cut where those two marks are. Like so, and then set it down on your window. Sometimes it doesn't go on so well. That's okay. You can just cut and redo. Patience is key. You got this. Okay. Set it on there. Pick up your vehicle, but not with the fingers that have white clay on it. Otherwise, that'll be annoying to get off. And then you can slightly adjust your window to make it square. Try not to smear the white too much around, otherwise it'll be hard to get off. We're gonna wrap it in black if you want, but it's nicer to have just a clean, crisp look, like that. All right, now we'll do it with the other windows. Measuring it again, about right there, and then about right there. I marked it, now I'll cut it, or will cut it. Set it on there. If it's a bit much, you can also just tap a little bit off by cutting it. If that's the case, I like to just slightly press down and not pull, but scoop underneath, like so. Okay, coming back around with my toothpick or potter's needle, I'm going to line it up with the other window, the tops and the bottoms, like that. And then make it even. Okay, there you are. The last one. Now, since this one's the curved one, I'm just gonna mark the top and the bottom, and then guesstimate the curve, like so. And then we can touch up as we put it on here. Now you'll see that this is a little too tall, so I'm going to cut off the top just ever so slightly, indenting it like that. And then we can pull it off. Now if you have extra clay on the end of your needle or your x-acto knife like this, see, you can take a pile of clay and kind of press it in to clean it off, and then it's ready to go again, like that. Okay, now that we've made that all good, we're gonna line it up with this one. Make sure this window's even, or smooth, not even, but then make sure this top is even as well, and the side there. All right. If you see that there's too much space or too little space between some of your windows, feel free to pull them through like this, and then readjust the straightness. Or if you're happy with it, then just leave it. Okay. Now that we have that, we're going to roll those really thin bits of black again. But first, you see how I got the black clay, smeared some white on it? It's good to clean your hands off after you work with white clay. I'm just gonna kind of wipe them off. You can also, I have a clump of, like I call it yuck clay. That is just a bunch of different colors that kind of got mixed together over time, and I wipe my hands off on that usually when I work with red and white, because they get on other clay really easily. But now, all right, we're going to roll out our little snake. We'll call it a snake, because we're on a safari. I've actually seen a green adder in the wild, but it was dead because it was old. But it was still so cool. Anyway, so once you've got this rolled out here, make sure it's as even as you can get it. We're going to wrap our windows. Like so. Just pressing your finger there. There go the neighbor dogs. And then you can just, as you're wrapping it, you can slightly press down with your finger to make sure that it doesn't move. And we're going to notch it like that and pull it off. There we go. And now there's a little hanging left over here. We're going to take that off like so. This is what I mean, like the yuck clay would be like this sort of clay that still has blue on it and black. All right, next we'll do wrapping this window. I'll start on this other side here. Like so. Now sometimes it gets a little thinner. That's okay. It's okay. And then we can cut it off. And then if it's too thin, we can cut it and then grab the part that's thick again. We'll start here. Pull through, pull around. Pressing as we go, just ever so slightly, not so that it squishes, but so that it stays in place. All right. Okay. Now that we've got that, we're going to cut it off like so. And if you throw your clay places. Now if your lines have gotten off, you can tap them down again with your toothpick and then tap ever so slightly with your finger to solidify the lines in their spots. All right, we're almost done. There's just a few things left. Now I will show you how to make the top. And you're going to take about this much clay, but twice of it. This much, but twice. Sorry for that wording. You're going to take that clay, warm it up again if you haven't touched it in a while, and then you're going to roll it into a cylinder again, but thicker this time, and then flatten it like so, and then test it out. See the size there. This is a little long for mine, so I'll take a little bit off. And then I'll retest it. Adjusting the end like so, pressing it. There we go. All right, that's the right size. Now, you can take some toothpicks for this part if you want to make it pop top, and then break them off to be about yay high, both sides, like so, and then take that part off, take a little bit of clay, press it, well, roll it into a ball, press it down, set the toothpick in it, and then fold the black clay over that. And then it may stick to your fingers a little bit, but it just after a little bit of persuasion, it will stay. Don't worry. Okay. Press and roll to make it even, like that. And then we are going to, I believe, set that. So if you're putting the pop top on, I don't want to put the pop top on, but if you are, you can push your toothpick into the top here and push it ever so slightly into the top there, as far down as you want, like that. And then do that with the next toothpick. And I'll let you do that now if you want to do that, but if you want to just put your pop top and not have it up yet, say the people in your car aren't observing yet, they're driving to the place they want to observe. You can put it like so. All right, now we can redefine our lines if they've gotten squished. And this you'll bake in a normal oven if it's Sculpey clay at 275 for 15 minutes per 1/4 inch. And I'll tell you that a convection oven bakes a third faster than a normal oven. So be careful if you're using a convection oven. And if you like this video and want to see more, like and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys think, what questions you might have, any requests you would like me to show, and what you make. So comment down below or tag Muni Shop or message me on Instagram or Facebook. And one last thing, we've got to sign our names. I will signing out Muni's Shop. My initials, EZK. You can come up with some fun little signature for yourself. And then 2020. There we go, guys. Nice job. I hope you had fun and have a great day. Bye.